Shalom to elect Israel, to the hopeful elect Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, born Israelites, to the light of the nation, scattered across the four corners of the earth. Want to give all praise to Barak was shy. Barak was shy. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Name of the Heavenly Father, who everybody ignorantly calls God. His true name in the ancient Hebrew, which is in the Rawchaa Qadash. His true name is Yahawah. Bahasham means in the name of Yahawashi, is the Holy One of Israel. Everybody ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. So-called Negro from the tribe of Judah, who was slain at the foundation of the earth for the salvation of the elect of Israel. Then you got 2/3 of the wicked Israelites here in America, Babylon the Great, and the other wicked Israelites scattered across the four corners of the earth that'll come back to the loins of the elect after the destruction. The Rawchaa Qadash is the Holy Spirit that's been bestowed upon the men. The Heavenly Father gave his only begotten Son out of the world to complete this work. So we always want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone. Let us all to the truth. Been ordained by the Lord, teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all who are part of the elect, to the hopeful elect. Lord, when we part of that number, Lord, when us be edifying others who fear in the name of the Lord, striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah 3:5, it is not slack. 2 Peter 3:9 is unto a ring. 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. Shalom, now you sincere believers out there tuning in here on after. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash, Atham, and We're going to go into some various end time topics. The title is Faction is the Beginning of Dissolution. Unity of the hopeful elect is a condition of endurance. So first, before we go into this, we're going to look up this word dissolution. And we're going to give you an understanding of what we're saying. So that word dissolution, right? And faction, right? That word faction.
Dissolution.
Dissolution. The closing down or dismissal of an assembly, partnership, or official body, right? Which is the beast system. Okay? The beast system is an official body. It's a group that is being dissolved right now. And we're seeing it in real time. And we're going to show you some of that to show you how that's happening. And now that word faction, it reminds me of a movie that I watched that was called The Divergent. And there was 5 factions. And eventually the system basically showed that that system was not sustainable because it was divided. So us being the hopeful elect, you know, we're enduring, we're enduring this trial and making sure that we're all on one accord to make sure that this isn't a divided house. Okay, either you're the hopeful elect or you're everybody else. That's what's happening right now. Okay, that's unity of the doctrine coming from the elders and apostles coming out of One West. Period. That's the unity. If you're not getting down with that doctrine, then you cannot unify with us. Just like it says in Amos 3 verse 3, can 2 walk together unless they be agreed? So that's plain. So we're going to go into the first article, Lord witness edifying to the flock. We're going to point out this to show you that they're making factions in their society, in their system. And the beast system is making factions. EU, which is the European Union, are jailing politicians who oppose NATO. Okay, so we're seeing there's politicians who oppose NATO. Well, those politicians that are opposing NATO, they were probably part of NATO and the EU. Okay, so now they're starting to make it to where they're putting them in prison for being against the MOTB, being against this digital system coming out. Okay, they're splitting up. Okay, that's why we seen that other article that America said that Babylon the Great, Babylon the Great said that when it came to the EU, they were considered an enemy. Okay, it's just like when Trump was saying, over here, he said at the little meeting, he said the enemy from within. He's basically saying the same thing about the EU and NATO. He's saying there's people in there that's coming against the place. So they're starting to do what? They're trying to be like us. They're trying to separate everybody who's not with this system and get rid of them. Okay? Because they're really finna push this shit, man. They're finna push the MOTB. So like it says, EU begins jailing politicians who oppose NATO. The European Union has begun arresting politicians. So this ain't like they just talking about it. They're doing it and handling them lengthy prison sentences if they are found guilty of expressing anti-NATO views. Okay? But a lot of people don't understand when you read Revelation chapter 17, verse 16, it's the views of NATO and the EU is that the beast system is that they will hate America, Babylon the Great and get them out of the way. Okay, so really what this is possibly saying is that these people are on some make America, Babylon the Great again shit. And they're like, we need to get them out of here. Okay? Because they're trying to get rid of this place. Jake, I don't know why the fuck you think that they want these demon ass Edomites over here in America, Babylon the Great to keep running shit. These niggas have fucked over everyone. They're not, they don't want them to rule anymore, bro. They're tired of this place. We're tired of this place. So on Thursday, the Harju District Court in Estonia sentenced Alvio Peterson, co-founder of the small conservative Koos Party, to 14 years in prison for treason. They put him in 14 years, just talking shit. The draconian laws is coming out, man. His associates, Dmitry Rutsi and Andrei Andronov, almost sound like a James Bond Nintendo 64 name right there, received sentences of 11 years and 11 years and 6 months, respectively. Okay? So that's an example. Okay? They're doing it. So they're making factions, man. And we know how the scriptures speak about when you do that. It's not going to come out well for you. It's not going to come out well. It's not going to come out well. The only thing that's going to come out well is the hopeful elect. Other than that, anything that's trying to cut ourselves whole, it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. And they know it's not going to work. That's why they got all our computers going slow and lagging, and we ain't doing nothing. All we doing is just looking up scriptures, man, and articles. It shouldn't be no lagging in no computer when you spending $150+ damn month. High speed internet, man. You shouldn't be having to deal with that, but they're doing this because they know you fucking around with the wrong ones. And I like it that it's like that, because when your stuff ain't all the way up to par, Esau ain't watching that shit. He's watching the people who's got the money. He ain't watching us. He's watching us, but he ain't watching us at the same time. He's about, like, he wants to make sure that he's got his strong ones, these jakes that's actually got money to promote stuff to Jake that don't know shit. That's really who he's worried about. Because that's part of the prophecy. The Lord said that a part of our people are going to be asleep. He got to make sure, like, that's Esau's job. He knows that he's fucked. He's going to do his job still, though. This is Mark chapter 3, verse 22. And the scribes which came down from Jerusalem said, he hath Beelzebub, right? Talking about Satan, right? And by the prince of devils casteth he out devils. That's what they try to say. It's like they try to call us demons because we was casting out demons in that time, And that's if we are the prophets of Abaratazar. If we are the prophets, that means that we was out there, casting out certain demons. And maybe, because it said that he sent out 72 prophets in each town. He sent them by twos, but they maybe had little brothers. They maybe had little bros that was out there doing stuff. Like I said, it said that the Lord did so much stuff it couldn't be contained in the book. You probably had some little bros out there casting out demons for real, like the prophets. They just didn't need to be mentioned because the Lord was like, I remember you. But who knows? We don't know. But it's you know, just like today, you know, we not all mentioned that's in the brotherhood, but that doesn't mean that we're not casting out these imaginations. We're out here doing it. It's not about us. It's up to whether the Lord wants to remember us or not. So it said, and he called unto him and said unto them in parables, right? Which means that you're not getting the full message. You're not going to get the full explanation of really what's going down. Just like when it says, okay, I sent out this many people, he could have sent out more. You think you really don't think, like, we're talking about he really was just speaking of the leaders. Like, you really think that yeah, it said Israel's bigger than the sands of the sea. You think that there wasn't like a lot of us following Yahawashi in that time? Oh man, it was so many of us. That's why it came to the point. It said there's so many people around him. He had to like go in the wilderness. We was ready to tear some shit up for Yahawashi. That's what we're ready to do again. And right now we're doing it spiritually. We tearing this place up, man. You think this is a game, Jake? Said, how can Satan cast out Satan? That's what he said to him, right? Verse 24, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand, right? So we're going to look up this word. We're going to go in the Greek. We're going to go in, you know, a lazy person's worst nightmare. We're going to look up this word in the Greek. Divided. This is the worst place for anybody lazy to be. Is words in the Greek or the Latin or the Hebrew. We're going to do it. Everybody on my channel, if you're subscribed, you know by now, we're going in.
Strong's G 3307. Merizo.
Right? To divide, separate into parts, cut into pieces, to divide into parties. Right? Doesn't America Babylon the Great? They call their different factions parties. You have Republicans, you have Democrats, you have the libertarians. This is what he's doing to this place, i.e., split into factions. Here it is. Split into factions. What does it do? It's the beginning of some place dissolving. To distribute a thing among people, bestow in part. All right. That's why I wanted to look up that word, because it gives you an explanation that something in the Greek is going into, you know, what we're seeing in the earth right now. Hold on. And it's a simple scripture that we always go into. And this ain't in part of the lesson. I just want to look this up real quick. Hold on. I want to do some studying. You're just gonna have to wait. If you don't want to, don't. I'm not gonna be mad at you. So I'm gonna look at this word stand. Let's see what that is. I just want to see what it is. I want to see what it means in it. I want to know how to say stand in the Greek. That's why I'm looking it up.
Histemi.
Dang, they got a whole bunch of stuff. Sheesh. We got a whole bunch of stuff. We ain't gonna read all that. Let's just start with this one. It says, in the presence of others, in the midst, before judges, before members of the Sanhedrin, which were basically 72 Levites, okay, who was under Ptolemy II, and he basically made them change the Greek, the Hebrew into the Greek, okay, for the Greek-speaking Jews that we read in Romans chapter 9, verse 27, when it talks about the Greek-speaking Jews in the NLT, they wrote it for them, the Sanhedrin. And that's crazy how in this whole thing, when it talks about they're not going to be able to stand, it mentions the Sanhedrin. It mentions them. So it's not just saying just able to stand against anybody. It's saying to stand against the real judges. Okay. And it's definitely not ironic that there were 72 of the Sanhedrin, and then there's 72 prophets that were sent out to go do miracles in Luke chapter 10. Lord ain't playing, man. He sent the same people all over the Bible to do what he told them to do. What is that? Run shit. That's what he told them to do. So that's all I wanted to look up some words. Next article. It says world's leaders adopt Australia's tyrannical digital item, right? So the world is adopting Australia's digital ID system because it's you know, it's very locked down in wake of Bondi Beach attack, right? We also had some people we had people got put to death. Always stays paint the narrative to make sure they can, do their draconian laws because they're the dragon. Esau Edom, the red dragon, so-called white man. Here it goes right here in this article. We know these people watching the prophets. Lawmakers in several Western countries are preparing to adopt Australia's draconian digital ID systems in wake of Bondi Beach terror attack this week, right? Oh, it was just so horrible. We finna start locking y'all ass down. They gotta have a reason. The Australian model, which blocks children under 16 from joining social media platforms and forces all adults to submit ID access websites, has quickly become a reference point for politicians abroad who describe it as a child safety measure, while others warn it can normalize digital identity tracking. Okay? They're always going to try to find a way to appease the public. Just like when we watched that video with that game, it was like, yeah, they did the whole election just to get the masses to follow, the sheep to follow. Because that's why I said those who were deceived, who took the MOTB. That's what they got to deceive you. They got to be like, yeah, this is how it goes. They have to paint a narrative. That's the rules, Jake. That's the rules. They got to do it like that. So, we ain't going to go too deep in it. So, but we know they're the ones up to it. We know that. We don't have to go deep into what they're doing. We just got to go to the scriptures. This is Psalms chapter 64, verse 5. We're going to go into ones we all know, We're just going to look up words this time that we don't normally look up in some of them. So this is verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter, right? This is an evil matter. This is what they concern themselves in. They encourage themselves, okay? They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? So they got all this going on like, oh, there needs to be a lockdown. Or we need to get into this draconian digital ID system. They're going to be like, how are they going to know that we actually caused the event? How do they know we staged it? I don't know. You're putting it in video games, dumbass. I'm going to read this. Esau gonna be mad as fuck when he come find me. He gonna be like, you was talking shit. I'll be like, yes, I was. Stupid ass.
Chazak.
Lord will not die for my dignity, because I'm not fucking with no Edomites, man. Y'all are fucked and you're going into slavery for free, motherfucker. And that's just the inside joke, the last part. So it says to strengthen, prevail, harden, be strong, right? Become strong, be courageous. So in an evil matter, this is how they are: grow firm, be resolute, right? Be sore, be caught fast, be secure, urgent, right? They quick to shed blood. That's what it said in the scriptures, right? To make bold, right? Make hard, this to display strength in evil matters. Like when it comes to people getting shot up at an event, that's how they display themselves. They encourage it. That's why there's so much of it going on. Okay? To have or take or keep hold of. Support. See? Hold strongly with. That's what it means to encouraging themselves. Like they really ain't playing. When it comes to being in the evil matter, Jake. They're not playing, bro. They're not playing. Everything that's going on with this is evil. And right along with that, what's Netanyahu saying? What's he saying about it? This is what he's saying about it. Go on over there. Netanyahu demands FBI arrest critics hats, or there will be bloodshed across America, Babylon the Great. Right? It says he openly threatened to assassinate critics of Israel right here on American soil. Right? It says just survived online. His reach obliterated overnight. The message was deliberate: terror through example, instill fear, break the will to speak. And right after that, what does his wife do? What did we see yesterday? She's like, yeah, why would you hate the small hats? This shit is all staged. And they're like, who's going to see us? You guess what? All the brothers see your dumb ass. Who going to see us? Like, come on, man. We see you, okay? We see you out here acting like y'all ain't had nothing to do with all the shit going down. But you got everything to do with it. Okay? And if you're not with it, what's the EU doing? They're going to throw you in jail. That's why it's going to be in here in America. What do you think is coming after the prophets? So let's see what he does. Let's see what Esau was really good at. This is what he always does. Netanyahu blames Australian government for dead tie, and they say Semitism, but Hebrew Israelites. We're Hebrew Israelites. They're Hebrew Edomites. Okay, so they are Shemitic. They're just the Shemitic ones that the Lord hates forever. So, according to the Israeli Prime Minister, right? He says he linked Australian government policies, right? He's saying it's the policies to the deadly attack on a what? A Jewish gathering over the weekend. That's what it's that is. I'm telling you, man. That's why EU's like, hey, you ain't with this shit. You ain't with us. You ain't with getting these motherfuckers out of here. They blaming us for everything, even though these demons is bombing all these everybody else and just not acting like this in the name of God and shit. You ain't with us. We're gonna start jailing your ass. And it always starts politically, like we said. Wars always start politically, just like we said yesterday. So we said that, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it. You got over here, they talking about, oh, it's already a civil war over here in America. politically. It starts with the politicians getting jammed up. That's how you know shit's finna start popping off. So when the politicians start getting jammed up, then shit starts getting emotional. Then missiles start flying. Not too long after that. Okay? It's all staged to let you know where's the progress of everywhere turned to the damn battlefield, because the Lord's in control. So it said he claims that government support the Palestinian statehood. Let the disease anti-Semitic spread, resulting in a horrific attack on them. So see, on the small hats, 2 gunmen killed 15 people. There go that number. Yeah, everybody whose brain's working, everybody knows I'll be talking about these numbers. There it is. There's got to be something. And wounded dozens. There's 12. More during Hanukkah celebration at Sydney's Bondi Beach on Sunday. See? And they make sure it's on a holy day, a so-called holy day of theirs, to make sure they can really push the point, like to go down with great wrath. To come down with great wrath, Jake. They make sure they do something on a day, and they put all the numbers in there to let everybody who's initiated, who have esoteric knowledge, to know what's finna go down. That's why I said we know their secrets, but they don't know ours. They don't know ours, man. They have no idea that it's just a screen. Hold on. They playing with my screen. They really don't know what's going on, though, man. They are wise, but they don't know what's going on, man. It said the wicked won't understand. Like what it is like they be seeing us, but they really think that we're playing. Like they really think this is a joke. The Lord did it like that. That's why, like, even like in last time with Moses and Pharaoh, he did all that stuff, and Pharaoh was still like, fuck him. You know what I'm saying? That's how Esau is with us, but like way worse. Okay. Esau is way worse than the Canaanites, the so-called Africans back then. This nigga is through. Okay, he's never going to give a fuck about you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans. He's never gonna give a shit. And in the kingdom, Ham is gonna give a fuck about us. The so-called Africans, they're gonna be like, "Yo, we fuck with y'all." Okay, Esau is never gonna do that. He's never gonna give a shit about us, Jake. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell under them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil, Esau, even so-called white man, has come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. He knows he's running out of time. He knows that. So he's gonna do what he do to come with great wrath. He's gonna stage events. He's gonna use AI to blame people. He's gonna do all this, and he's trying to really ramp it up. Look, this is what they also did. This is what they're because you got to remember, we watched that video about the Patriots, which is the elites, these small hats. They be making shit in America be going down. Okay. This is one of the big topics I wanted to go into. It said Portland court rules so-called black people can legally stab so-called white people who use racial slurs. Right? What kind of shit is this? Jake, you better start reading the scriptures, man, because the Lord doesn't go by this the law of this earth, man. He doesn't go by the law of this world. You think just because they say you can do it, Jake? Hey, you better not touch Esau. Do not touch him, man. Let the Lord deal with him. Do not touch Esau, Jake. I repeat, do not touch him. We're gonna prove it to you in the scriptures why you shouldn't touch him. Now that, Jake, you see this dude, it's always somebody with these damn dreads, man, with these Shiva Jadas doing this shit, man. They always let these niggas go. This is that rabbit spirit right there. We're gonna let this nigga go. So they want him to go stab somebody else so they can blame all Israel. And it's crazy. It happened on December 12th, 12/12. They know what they doing, man. They be setting all this shit up. A Portland court has acquitted a so-called black man in connection with the stabbing of an Old Town neighborhood in the Old Town neighborhood after the victim was captured on video using a racial slur. So they say, okay, you good. You can get away with it. But let's see what the Lord says about it. You know, we can go into what happened, but let's just get to the point. Let's get to the point. That dude is finna be fucked. Okay? How do we know? Genesis 4, chapter 4, verse 14, because it's the Lord said that he was going to take care of him. He said, wait on me. Don't touch him, Jake. Now that dude, he finna get jacked up. So I'm telling you, we don't be letting them Shiva Jada motherfuckers in GMS because they be doing weird shit, man. We told you, people with them dreads, they don't be acting right. Get the hell from around us. you ain't gonna unify with the hopeful elect doing all that. Hell no. So let's go back to Genesis 4, verse 14. Behold, this is what Esau was, basically Cain is Esau's descendants. Okay? Esau is a descendant of Cain. Okay? They're all the same lineage. Okay? And we're going to point it out. So it says, behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, right? They just go around and they just raid everybody's land and be like, it's they shit now. That's what it means, a fugitive and a vagabond, a thief. That's what they do. They go in, they take nations and, put a McDonald's in it. And, like that's what they do. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me, right? That's coming to time. Every time somebody see Esau, they going to try to kill him because he's calling Jake nigger and shit. This is what it's talking about. Like, this is literally what that's talking about. That's what we're seeing in that. Everybody see me just try to stab my ass. And Portland was like, yeah, we'll just let you go. Because we know Esau's a damn demon. Okay? But you don't want to touch him, man. Don't touch him. That's the commandments of the Lord. And the Lord, which all caps is talking about Yahawah, said unto him, therefore, whosoever slave Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. So the Lord said his vengeance is going to come after you. So you slay him, right? You try to stab him or something, Jake, or try to get at him. Okay? The vengeance is going to come on you. That ain't changed. That's why if you do it or whatever, like, back then, if you even talk to, they had one video of a Jake, just talking to a Edomite woman, and he got lynched. Okay, so don't get it fooled that like when you see this right here, they like let him go and stuff. Don't think that Esau ain't gonna set that dude up and take him out, man. Like they're secret with their stuff now. They're secret with their stuff now, man. They're trying to push the narrative where it's like they want Jake to be roused up. They're trying to rouse up Jake. That's why I say, who shall rouse him up? They're trying to rouse Jake up to where they can make a move and slaughter a whole bunch of us to be like, oh, they was just being wicked. They was just some demons. Okay? Because they know they're going to have the right to take vengeance on you if you mess with them. Because that's the law. It's the Lord saying. And of course we're under grace, but that doesn't mean that you could just do certain shit and nothing happen to you, man, especially something like this. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain lest any finding should kill him. Okay, so that mark is still there on Cain all the way to Esau. Okay, that's why when you go down, it talks about Lamech it talks about his. Let's go down here. We'll just jump to the point. Verse 24. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold, which means what? Throughout the generations, going into Esau all the way down there. So it still applies to today. Jake, don't touch him, bro. Don't touch him. And when you go into that word, we're going to go into it. We'll go into it. We'll go into it. Right? It said he set a mark upon him. Right? Part of it was his pigment being taken away, of course, but there was more marks that were set on him too. It was more stuff than that. We're gonna go to that word mark. You know, he marked Esau to put out the mark of the damn beast all the way at the end. That's basically what he did. He was like, I'm gonna make sure your ass is evil as hell.
Strong's H 226. Oath.
Right? Sign, signal, a distinguishing mark. What does it mean to be something that's distinguished? That means that if it says Adam actually, how you say that in the Hebrew is Adama, and it means from the ground. So if all the soil from the ground is got a complexion of like some type of skin where it's dark, because that's where you get that word like human. They're not really actually human in a sense, because human, hue, which is the root word of that, means color. Okay, so he distinguished them. He made sure that their characteristics were distinguished to where they couldn't be us. Okay, to make sure you knew that this was a warning that the most High, like, you better believe this prophecy.
Distinguishing.
Right? Characteristic of one thing or a person, so serving to identify it, distinctive. So it had to be physical. It couldn't have just been like he just put a mark on them and it was just like, you know what I'm saying, just like some, you know, something spiritual. It had to be also on earth. And back then, if you look in Leviticus 13, it talked about leprosy, which means what? Your pigment on your skin was taken. And that was like a sin. That was like a shame. They would lock you in a damn you know what I'm saying, and like one of them little outhouses for 7 days, and the priest will come back to see if your ass, if the Lord had mercy on your ass, and if not, he shut you up another 7 days. Like straight up. Like this is real shit right here. Right? Banner, remembrance, miraculous sign, omen, token. Right? This was a prophecy, miracle, proof. It was a miracle, evidence, right? Prodigy, a monument, as a flag. Like he made sure that he put enough distinguishing on the so-called white man where there is no way your ass is not gonna know this is this guy. Okay? Unless the Lord just doesn't want you to. And that shows you that the Lord's real too. It's just like they made that one movie on what was it called? On Black Mirror, where the Eve was she was like working at this place, and there's an Edomite chick there, but the Edomite was like a sorcerer. She was like a witch, and she had this AI that where basically she can rewrite everything right in front of everybody. So the Eve was like, yeah, I didn't do that, and then all of a sudden, like she could rewrite it and tell the AI to do it, and then everything would be generated fake. And she'd be like, what the fuck? I know this is real. Okay. That's kind of like how it is, man. Okay. This shit is gonna work out the way the Lord wants it to. So this is James chapter 5, verse 1. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there ain't no way Esau getting out of this. And we can just start at 3 to get to the point. Your gold is silver, and your gold and silver is cankered, right? And the rust of them shall be a witness against you. So it's not just his pigment as well. It's the money that he has. That's also a witness against him as well. Okay, that's part of his mark. That's part of his distinguished mannerisms. Okay, all that damn money he's got, all the resources he has. Okay. You shall shall eat your flesh as it were fire, right? Because the other nation's gonna bomb this place. Starting with Russia, you've heaped treasure together for the last days. All right, we're gonna go into that word witness. Yeah, we're going to some Greek words today. We're almost done. Y'all know me, I'll be by an hour. We almost done. Hang in there, Jay.
Strong's G 3142. Marturian.
Marturian. Right? That's how you say the word witness in the Greek. Marturian. Okay. So, like it says, something evidential. Right? That's what it's saying in the Old Testament. Evidence. Right? Testimony, witness, right? It says the Decalogue in the sacred tabernacle. Let's see what that means. That word, that Decalogue. Let's see what that means. Curious. You got a whole bunch of stuff on that shit. Oh. It just means the 10 commandments. See? Even something in the New Testament is stemming back to evidence of the Old Testament. This is evidence. Okay, testimony, witness to be testified. See, that's what I'm saying. Esau be doing these damn big ass words and shit. It's all simple. It's all should be more simple than this. Esau he complicates everything, man. You gotta go look up words and shit. Like, there's no reason that word needs to exist. That's why in the kingdom there isn't gonna be no English language. We don't need all that damn extra shit. You go look up this word because y'all know I ain't that smart. Like, the fuck? I gotta go look that shit up. Fuck. So this is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. This is how we know the Lord wants us to wait. Therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, talking about the Heavenly Father, which is Yahawah, until the day that I rise up to the prey, right? So this is going back to why he said, don't touch him. So now they over here in court talking about you can legally do that. You good. If they call you a nigger, you can get them. No, Jake. That's why you need the law. You need the truth to know that everything that he's doing is a testimony against him. The Lord said, wait on him. You try to jump into that, you're going to get tore up. Vengeance is going to come on your ass. My determination is to gather the nations that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation. Even all mine fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So you got to take a step back, Jake. You know how you got that the movies where the one Jake will be behind the other one, like, let me at him. Like, you supposed to let him at him and dot and move and get out the way. Don't be going around stabbing and calls you the N-word or whatever, Jake. Don't do that. Okay? Just wait on Lord. Or you're going to get judged. And it's going to be a righteous judgment that you get judged. So this says TPU USA PEDO ring exposed. Okay. Pastor Rob McCoy, right? These pastors, these so-called You spin off Roman Catholic Church, right? I know what I'm talking. It's all part of this turning point shit, man. We ain't gonna read too much into it. We'll tell you this though. We're just gonna pull up a precept, and then I got one more. And really, the last one is just going into they finally admitted, which we already knew, that they didn't go to the moon. And you know, in the scriptures, we can show you why they did. I might leave that one out for a short lesson tomorrow. Yeah, I'll probably leave that one out. That's fine. So we're just gonna read this. It says, "They know not, neither will they understand." Psalm chapter 82, verse 5. They know not, neither will they understand. Right? So that's how we know how the wicked are. They can't understand these scriptures. Okay, but the Lord, you know, He did give the elites insight on particular things, but some stuff they still don't know. They'll never understand. So, because if they did understand fully, then they would be immortal. They're never going to understand righteousness to the fullest extent. They walk on the darkness, and the foundations of the earth are out of course. And this is what's happening, man. You got these people up here talking about they pastors and leader churches, and they just shit, and look what's happening to them, man. Because it's out of course, man. But we can just read the article, and then we'll go into the precept. You know what? Screw it. We'll just go ahead. We'll just go into it. It says NASA chief finally confesses we don't have the technology to go to the moon. There it is right there. It says NASA Administrator Mike Griffin, the man who ran the entire agency under President Bush, stood in front of Congress on December 5th, 2025. So this was, you know, maybe 2.5 weeks ago, and declared the Artemis moon landing plan cannot work and must be scrapped because the technology does not exist. There's no way. It said flesh cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High. There is no way that your body is able to withstand leaving this place. Okay, you're trapped here without Yahawashi. If you do not have that new, that you don't get them new bodies from Yahawashi, you will be trapped wherever the physical, because we're going to have other planets with slaves on them. You know, we're going to have other planets with slaves on them or whatever. But wherever you're at is like, you can't fucking leave that realm. You're going to be there. Okay? Wherever the oxygen is, your body is not going to be capable of going into space. It's going to explode or something. Even like water. You're bound to the physical plane forever. If you're not an Israelite, you will never, ever leave this physical plane, ever. Okay? And this is just the beginning of it. Of your ass finding out. Your ass is never going to get out of this shit. But you're going to live a lot better in the kingdom if you're not Esau. That motherfucker going to be ready to go by the time we get done with his ass. He going to be glad we getting rid of his ass. He ain't going to even want to exist. If we just told Esau, after 1,000 years of slavery, here's y'all plot of land, y'all can go live out there, they would be so ashamed and wouldn't even want nobody to see. They probably kill their fucking self. All they self off. As bad as we going to do them. They're going to be so ashamed. They thought they made us ashamed. They're going to be so ashamed. They're going to be like, man, I don't even want to be alive, man. I'm ready to go. I'm telling you, man. Because you got to remember, we're not weird like them. We're not going to be doing sodomy and stuff and butt breaking and stuff. So, and it said that they're going to get double what we did. And it said we're going to meditate terror. So without all the weird kinky shit that they did, we're going to do way worse. Okay? Just on some real righteous shit. You think that shit's a game, Jake? Keep fucking around with us, man. Keep fucking around with us, Jake, because you're going to get burned up here. And when you come back in the kingdom, you're going to be trembling because you're going to see that you barely fucking got off, ending up like them. You're going to be terrified when you see how we do them fucking Edomites. You're not going to get to do it. It's going to be the elect men. We're going to do it to their ass. You're just going to be there fucking being damn Israelite citizen or whatever. Jeremiah chapter 31 verse 8, the Lord might let you clock a couple of them. Jeremiah chapter 31 verse 35. Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and the stars for a light by night, which divided the sea, when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. The Lord of hosts means Lord of armies. Verse 36, if those ordinances depart from me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from the beginning of the nation before me forever. That's why they tried to do Sputnik. Okay, the first rocket ever shot to the moon, they tried to do Sputnik, which basically Sputnik was an ICBM. It was an intercontinental ballistic missile. They were really trying to blow up the moon. So they said, you can make these cease, right? If you can, make them ordinances depart from me, I'll just cut them off. So that's why you got people that are like, oh, Elon Musk, he's going to save us. Okay. That's why you got China trying to make artificial suns, and they're trying to use chemtrails to blot out this. Like, this is why you think they're doing all this, because they're trying to cut off Israel. Verse 37, thus saith the Lord, if heaven above can be measured. That's why when they tried to, they felt salty when they tried to measure space, and they found out that it keeps expanding, and it has to, because the Lord said, be fruitful and multiply. He didn't say be to Israel. He didn't say be fruitful and multiply and then stop here at this specific number. Like, no, it's just going to keep going. Just like the universe. Because he said in the New Testament, he said, I made a man. He said, he said, my house is many mansions. I prepare a place for you. Well, there's people that the Lord, he's going to continually prepare shit. He's eternal. He ain't going to just stop preparing shit. Like, he's going to always be prepping shit. So anyways, if those are going 37, thus saith the Lord, if heaven above can be measured and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, that's why you got these cave divers who be getting stuck upside down and dying after 8 hours. Like, you got them, you know what I'm saying? That's like trying to do that shit, man. You got people doing deep diving, going to try to see the Titanic and imploding. They're doing all that because they're trying to cut us off. I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord. Basically he's mocking them. So not going to be able to ever do it. So that's it. That's all I got. Lord was edifying to the flock. Shalom to elect to Israel, hopefully to Israel, Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, foreigners, like the other nations, scarecrows, 4 corners of the earth. I want to give all praise to Barak was shy. Double honors to those, and Apostle Great Millstone, let us all to the truth. Peace and blessings to the elect, Kwame, Rawchaa, Baba Shalom.